Welcome to SoCal Prep Report. I'm Carlos Peña, and today we have another exciting show with a couple of special guests. So sit back and we'll be right back.
Exploring LA County's trails is now a click away. A mobile-friendly trail locator lets you discover all our county's scenic hikes. It features an interactive map that takes you inside the trail. From the elevation to the temperature, what you need to know is at your fingertips. Wondering if your dog, horse, or bike is welcome? It has that too. So discover some of LA's best-kept secrets and happy trails to you.
Hi folks, and welcome to this week's SoCal Prep Report. I'm Carlos Peña, and today at Coach's Corner we have Dr. George. How you doing, Dr. George?
Hey, thanks, Carlos. Doing great, man. I appreciate you letting me be here.
Yeah, no problem. I appreciate you being here. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself? And you've been studying something very interesting lately, haven't you?
You know, I have. I took on a study. It's been a couple years in the making, but it's been published by the American Psychological Association as well, APA, for sports psychology.
Right.
And it was on the use of mental imagery and mental self-talk to reduce your response times, what we call it, but a lot of people think of it as reaction time. So when you see something happen, the time it takes for you to respond to that action. And we found that if you use the right type of mental imagery and the right type of self-talk in your head, so in other words, the movie that you play in your head and the dialogue that you put in your own head, you can reduce your time by up to 20%.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I've heard, that mental preparation, picturing yourself catching that ball, picturing yourself kicking that ball. So is that what we're talking about here?
Yeah, quite a bit, because it depends. So like if you're kickboxing, like we're here at the Bullet Hole, if you're kickboxing, you want to put a real short imagery of just like an explosion, see yourself exploding, see exactly what you're going to do, and you want to make sure that focus is internal onto yourself.
Wow.
So it's not about what you're doing, it's about what I'm going to do.
Wow, okay.
And the self-talk as well, just something real quick like explode, fast, whatever's meaningful to you, that's the key.
I see.
And when we did the study, we found something very cool, because we were using, it was kickboxing, and we were using a back leg roundhouse kick into a bag. We were able to time it from a beep to the time the foot hits a target. And everything was timed to a thousandth of a second.
Wow.
Yeah, it was a blast, actually.
Wow. I would imagine something like that is something you just don't do overnight. I mean, it takes a little bit of grit and perseverance to get to that point. I mean, you really got to spend some time practicing it, or can I just do it tomorrow?
Yeah, you know what's cool? That's a great point, because grit and perseverance is what we really want to build. That's the end product.
Oh, okay.
And so for that immediate gratification that all of us want something right now, you can use the imagery and self-talk for immediate results. That's what our study showed. But to prolong that, you want to use mindfulness. In order to keep that going. Mindfulness is very cool. A lot of people, when you say mindfulness, they think of meditation, and you're meditating all over the place all the time, and you're some super Zen kind of guy.
Right.
But what it is, it's just about being in the moment and feeling the game, the sport, whatever you're in.
Oh, okay.
So
you're
feeling
pretty much
the
taking
moment.
the senses of the environment as a whole,
taking
taking it all in, and turning it around so you can perform better.
Yeah, absolutely.
Ah.
That is absolutely the case, because you're in that moment and all you care about is that exact second you're there. So that's when, people say they hit the zone and it seems like things slow down and everything's effortless.
Yeah.
Mindfulness is what helps you get to that zone, because you're in that moment. Nothing else matters.
I see that. It's very interesting you talking about, a muscle memory, because the more you do it, the more fluent you become to it, the more easy it becomes. And then you get lost in a certain play, and you just realize what just happened, and everything just happened automatically. Is that what we're talking
exactly
about?
Is what just happened. Like what's kind of a neat phenomenon is, let's say we videotape a game, whatever it might be, or a match, or whatever it might be, and somebody that's in the zone, they'll recall it differently than what their coach will recall it, and they'll recall it, and both will recall it differently than what the video says. So it's kind of neat, because you're in that moment and you have your own perspective of it, and you just let it flow. It becomes that state of flow where everything is effortless, just like what you were saying.
How do you get to that stage? How do you know you're in that stage? I mean, I would imagine that's a pretty good feeling to be.
Yeah, and I imagine a lot of your viewers have been in there at some point, and they may or may not know how they did it.
Right.
And one way to get there is focus. Just real quick note for any parents: has anybody been on the sideline or somewhere and yell "focus"?
Oh, I hear that.
That's the worst thing
all
you
the
could
time.
do, because what is focus? That's where you place your attention. So by somebody over here yelling "focus," I just put my attention over here,
yeah.
away from me
Yeah, and
inside.
it's so important nowadays for parents just to be parents and enjoy the game.
Oh my goodness.
Enjoy the kids, watch what they're doing and enjoy it, and not so much focus on their child. Oh, well, he missed the ball or she didn't catch the ball. That's really not what we want to do anymore. We want to let them play and focus.
Find joy.
Yeah.
Because our job as a parent is to find joy in the game and help our children find that joy, because when they find joy, that's another piece that helps them find that flow or that mental state where they're in the zone. And we can role model that by us being hyper focused on our own kid. That's not finding joy. That's getting in the way of them finding joy, and it's getting in the way of them finding the zone too.
Wow.
If anybody's ever watched the Netflix movie Pele, you need to watch that, because it's a fantastic on how you're supposed to just find joy
in what
the
you're
game.
doing.
Yeah, it was very profound. I watched it the other day.
You know, playing games, playing sports should be fun for the kids.
Right.
They should not be, at a point where, I'm going to go over there and I know I'm going to hear mom or dad, and that's not what we want. We want to hear laughter out there. We want to see after the game the kids, I had a great time.
So me, you know what I do? So my son and his team knows that I'm out there. I bark. When they do something, I have a ball, and I find joy in that. So I'm not hypercritical on anything, because if we're they know what they're doing, and their coach is there to make any corrections. We're there to show them love, joy, and just have a good time in the game.
Definitely. Now we've talked about before, the mindset, grit and perseverance to get somewhere. We talked about during. What about afterwards? There's a thing where we have to decompress, and we have to give those kids some time to decompress before we hound them with questions. How important is that?
Oh my goodness, thank you for bringing that up. First of all, that is so important, and it's important. This is where you get to know your own child, because some kids, they just need you to back off a little bit, give them their space.
Yeah.
Where others just want to just kind of decompress and just kind of get it out.
Yeah, I see it so many times out in the pitch, game's over, and immediately mom or dad is on that kid and say, well, what happened? What this, that? And the kid just wants some time to be like,
Right.
Hey, let me drink some water here and take a knee or something. How bad is that?
And you wonder why so many kids quit at age 13.
That
seems to be the magic age.
Really?
When kids just, I'm out.
Wow.
And it's a lot because of that, because you know what? The best thing to say to them is, wow, man, I love watching you play.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah.
I love watching you play.
Yeah.
Oh, that was awesome. Just get to see you play, give them a big old bear hug.
Yeah, and give them some time.
Yeah. And that's how they find joy.
Yeah, I know from personal experience, I let my child come to me when they're ready.
Yeah.
At least, that way I know they're ready to talk. Is that something good, bad, or?
That's brilliant, because what sports is supposed to do, and what we try to force sometimes as parents, coaches, is social skills and ability to cope with that stuff.
Yes.
And by giving them their space and letting them make the decision, we're getting them to learn how to make good decisions.
Yeah, true.
We're getting them to learn how that, hey, it's okay to be me. I got to be me.
They got to learn how to figure it out.
Yeah.
They have to. Yeah, you're so
And
right.
that's part of that grit. When they learn to figure it out, you know what? I got knocked down. I'm going to figure it out, rather than, oh, man, I got knocked down. No, it's, what do I need to do?
Yeah.
That changes the mindset.
It's something they can learn off of.
Right, and that circles right back to mindfulness. And if I can just kind of circle right back to that mindfulness.
Yeah, of course.
And being in that moment, what you want to do to help your own children or have them is just have them pause and be comfortable in silence, and quietness. And whatever sport it is, have them do something extremely slowly. Like, so if it's boxing, have them throw a cross and make it take 30 seconds.
Really?
So, and have them feel every single muscle, every twist.
I would imagine that helps to
everything.
get really in tune with your with your own body and
Yeah.
understanding your body and the stress and everything and how to handle it.
Yeah, because what happens is now your focus is internally on what you can control rather than me, like when we did our test, the people who didn't have what we call a control group, we didn't give them anything to do.
Right.
They actually slowed down with their reactions. Their reactions got slower simply because they were thinking outside of themselves. I have to beat group X. I have to beat this. Where the other groups that use the imagery put their focus, their attention internally, and it got them quicker.
Wow.
So that's what you practice moving really super slow.
Right.
That's what they practice. They practice going internal and hitting that zone.
Now, that's something I've never known before until you showed me. Where can I, as a parent, go and find information like this? I mean, that's stuff you don't find anywhere.
Right. Well, you can of course come to my site, HanshawPerformance.com, and Hanshaw is HANSHAW.
Right.
And I have a lot of stuff on there because sports psychology is something we just want to share. We don't want to hide it because we want everybody to get better because everybody benefits from it. Because if I can maintain my composure under extreme stress, man, competition is extreme stress.
Yeah.
You know what? Regular life decisions, I want to be better at.
Yeah.
You know, and when I have my focus internal on what I can do, then I'm going to be a better problem solver too. So when I go to work and let's say had a bad day at work, you know, I don't get lost in the bad day. I learn to overcome and adapt and then make the changes I need to make because that's where my focus is. And it makes you a better overall, you know, person for the community as well.
Wow, that's very interesting. You know, what message do you have for parents? Should they be pushing their kids, or should they kind of have more of a guide to their kids? I mean, what should parents do?
You know, parenting, it's what do they say? The days are long and the years are short. You have a short amount of time. So I would say the biggest thing that you could do is give them a big hug and tell them I support you and let them go get it.
Right.
So when you see them faltering or anything else, you just support them. Hey, I thought you wanted to do this. Let's so what's going on? Talk to them. Just have that open communication and be that guy, the guide on the side.
Yeah, give them a chance to improve those social skills.
Yeah, absolutely.
Someday they're going to be talking to recruiters.
Yeah,
and they have to be able to talk.
The biggest thing that I tell my own sons when they go out to compete and whatever they do, you know, I just give them and say, just be you. You know, just do you. Be you, baby. Go have some fun.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, Doc George, I appreciate you being on the show, Coach's Corner. You know, very, very helpful information. And again, they have your website they can go to and get this information as well.
What's happening in LA? I'm Arian Alexander. LA in summer is bursting with music, and we picked 3 free concerts for you to check out this weekend. Every summer, Levitt Pavilion hosts free concerts attracting people from all across Los Angeles to come together for an evening of live music under the stars. This Saturday, get into the groove with Boogaloo Assassins. The LA-based 12-piece Latin band has a sound and style inspired by the Latin boogaloo, soul, salsa, and funk of the 1960s and 70s. Summer nights just got hotter. For the calendar, visit loveitlosangeles.org. This summer's downtown stage has a musical lineup with something for everyone. On Saturday nights, the concert lawn is open to the public as bands take to the stage. This Saturday, hot 80s band The English Beat will treat you with their unique sound that has allowed them to endure for nearly 3 decades and appeal to fans all over the world. Get your free entrance tickets at laparks.org/Pershing Square. On weekends, the Getty Museum hosts garden concerts for kids. The free outdoor musical series for kids and their families are held in the Getty Central Garden and features some of the best children's musical artists from across the nation. This weekend, Jazzy Ash invites the whole family to come along on a New Orleans-inspired jazzy music adventure with her band, The Leaping Lizard. Feel free to bring a picnic blanket and your dancing shoes. Check out getty.edu for more. It's a musical extravaganza for you and your family all across Los Angeles this week. I'm Arian Alexander. Get your groove on, and I'll see you next week on What's Happening in LA.
SoCal Prep Report brought to you by KM3 Projects. Fighting cancer's tough. We're here to help. Today, I have none other than Coach Ramo, Technical Director of SoCal Rush. Coach, how are you doing today?
I'm doing good. How about yourself?
Fine, fine. Now, you've been around soccer for a very long time. Can you share with us when that point was that made you determine this is what I wanted to do?
Well, it was long back in Africa where that's all we do. We don't have anything else around, so soccer was our way to escape things.
Right.
And then from there, we found a lot of comfort and joy. So, I mean, happiness, where is happy, that's where is home, right?
Yeah.
So since then, that's how it kind of hit.
Now, you talking about your origins are from Africa.
Yeah.
How did you get to the point of the levels that you played at, which is pretty high levels? How was that road for you?
It was a long road. First, it was just for fun. In Africa, we watch TV, we watch the pro, and most likely, due to the financial lack, then it was most of us our way out. So we all dreaming to want to play pro. So I got a chance to get moved to France to stay with my dad, and then that's where it pretty much hit. As you know, in Europe, that's all they do. So
yeah, so I would imagine that at that point became a passion, and the grit to just keep going and going is what really made you a player that you were.
Yes, Molly, the passion was there first. It's just something we do regardless of the outcome. And then when you start see the incentive, the motivation, and money, and the fame and all that, it's like, you know what, I'm gonna go for this too. And then it become more competitive, and through those competition, along the way, you get all the joy that come with it. It's not just about arriving there; it's about the journey, and the journey was so enjoyable that you keep on going.
Right.
So.
Now you talk about competition. Now, as technical director, competition. How do you prepare a club for competition?
Well, prepare a club, it's another thing. Prepare a team, it's another thing. So I believe that we have organization, have a vision for us and philosophy. And with the background that we have as a coach, we just need to stick to it and the philosophy that the club send. And then just follow to the routine. Obviously, the routine are there, but it's one thing to do it,
Yeah, routine is very important. Having a habit, creating a habit, it becomes part of you every day, day in, day out. Now, how do you instill that into a player and to understand that habit is very important?
I think for the most part, it's just about sitting and show the player that you care. Because obviously, when a player do care, and they know that you care for them, and they most likely want to hear you out. Obviously they have different distractions. So it's more about human relationship. At this point, it's not so much about the game. I mean, in any sport, we always talk about this technique, this, all that. But at the end of the day, it's about just like connecting with that player to be able to pass on the information. Because once they see that value, they're willing to hear you out, and then you guys go do whatever you're supposed to do together.
Right. Yeah, that's very important. Having that routine, that habit. Let's talk about training, and how do you set up the training for a club a year out? I mean, I would imagine at some point you have to, remind yourself. And how hard is it to keep it on track?
It's very hard because every coach want to just do their own thing.
Right.
Every team just want to do their own agenda, so it's very hard. But then I grew up in Europe where, in the whole organization, everybody kind of follow the same pathway. Mm-hmm. We know the outcome. We know the philosophy. Basically, we're here to develop. So once we set it in the right mindset, we don't care what about anybody else want to do. We're here to develop. So at that point, it get easy because then we identify every player to find out what they are. The team is also to find out what's the level of the team, what do they need. And from there, we set up a curriculum for them. Right. We don't always stick to it because you're flexible. Life thing doesn't always work the way you want it.
That's very important. I'm glad you mentioned that. The individual player.
Yeah.
We have to be able to, in the United States, be able to develop an individual player.
Yeah.
How important is that?
It's very important. We always say things like we don't care about the team, we care about the player. Yeah. The reason be that if you take care of each individual in the team will take care of itself. So it's kind of like first thing first in a way. So it is difficult, but for the same part, it's not. I always go back to what I just say. Focus on the player, give them information on what they need to work on, and then help them along the way. As they get in success, they feel good and they really want to participate in the team as a concept.
Right. Establishing core values and ethics within the team is very important. It gives them an identity and something to fall back on. Now, how using all that, how do you put it together and get a team ready for the higher levels, say regional plays or stuff?
Yeah, so for instance, regarding the G00 team that won the state cup 2 years ago, it was a lot of work. It was like a lot of mental preparation. First, I have to make them believe that they can actually do it.
True.
Me, with the experience, I do see, I've been around soccer for so long that I can identify some of the cue that's going to tell you that this group's going to do well or it's not going to do well, you know?
Right.
You just have those kind of vibe when you've been around so much. You can feel it. Now, the beauty thing about sport is you can feel it and then they may not bring it.
Yeah.
Right? And
yeah.
if they don't bring it, then you can say whatever you want. So there's been a lot of mental preparation that I did with them. And then they start with a tournament. So training hard. So first I have to unite the parent and let them know that, listen, I feel something about your daughters,
Right,
and
right.
I think they're going to win state cup. So
I think that philosophy is clear across any sport.
Yes.
No matter where you play, there's certain players that you kind of see that stand out.
Yeah.
How do you take that player and how do you get them ready, mentally and physically? Is it a long process? Does it take years, or is it something that happens overnight?
It take a year. I think sometimes they need a lot of advice and counseling because the road is so full of obstacles that they don't see coming, But we, as an experience, receive, and even then, they don't want to listen to you at some point. So it's really come down to sometimes those players. I mean, no matter what you have to do or whatever you do, it's at the end, it has to come from something that come deep with them from that player.
True.
It doesn't matter what a coach do. It doesn't matter what parent you have. Honestly, none of this matter. If it's something deep down, it's not talking to that player. I think it's very hard.
Yeah.
It's very hard.
It is very hard. You have to spend time with them. Often coaching is kind of a coach-teach mentor type thing, and
Yes.
sometimes it feels more of a mentor
It's
than
more
coaching.
Mentor. It's more mentor. I think it's a lot of mentorship because you can do for them. You cannot do for them. It's a mentorship, so you have to explain to them. And then they have to go do it.
Yeah.
And then when they fail, you're there to back them up, to tell them, you know what, don't worry. I see this road before. There's a lot of obstacles, but once you pass the first obstacle,
Right.
it's a drive,
Yeah,
so
getting over the obstacles is
Exactly.
definitely a thing.
Exactly.
Yeah. How often have you felt like, oh my goodness, coaching, I don't know if I can do this? What is it that you see that makes you change and say, no, this is what I want to do. This is the reason why I'm doing this.
Well, I think it's probably for me personally, there was never no time that I say I don't want to coach. I always want to coach because since I was a kid, I always have this passion to share what I know with others. So it's like a vocation, As they say, teacher, we're not going because we're going to make $1 million. We're going because we just have this tremendous joy and a love to be able to share with mankind what we have learned. And so that come deep down. So even if you face the challenges, it's like finding your true north. At some point, you never forget where you head at. And then so one thing get
humble
tough.
beginnings.
Correct.
Right.
One thing get tough, the back of your mind, you know why you're there. Even if it's not as fun as it is, but you know that it's for one of those key moments. It's one of those breakthrough that keep bring you and you just stay.
I know for my personal self is when I hear kids laughing at practice, I know I'm doing something. But the really turning point is when you have that one kid that comes back, says, "Coach, thanks." How often does that happen to you? I know you have a lot of been coaching for a long time. You must have outrageous numbers of those things.
Well, it does happen. It's actually recently they just received a message from a Facebook post out of nowhere. A kid that just graduated from college, and I worked with him when he was 12 years old in Alaska.
Wow.
And then I coach him.
Alaska.
And I coach him in college as well. And then he just sent me a message. He said, "Coach, I just thought about you today, and I just want to thank you for where I am today. Nothing special." And he wrote me a very nice letter. And then, yes, obviously it does feel good. But then it's just a reminder, as you say, you don't take shower today, say you set for the whole month, right?
Right.
You have to do on a daily basis. So as we know that we keep going somewhere, these are like a little reminder to keep sharpening the saw. These kids, just to remind you, hey, you know what? No matter how tough you get down the road, don't forget that you make a difference in my life. So don't mind those that are making it hard for you. Just keep on, you know?
Right. So, wrapping things up, what is the one message that you would have for all coaches in any sport? And what is one message you would have for players?
For the coach, I will tell them that, just enjoy making a difference players' life, be there with them, and just make more about interpersonal relationship. You know, just trying to identify each kid on their own, each player for who they are, because each one of us have a different characteristic and quality, and then we cannot be constantly be compared to left and right, this and that. We different. So just focus on each player and trying to find out what make them tick. You know, what make them be that person, and then bring them up and allow them to enjoy themselves for who they are. Focus on them.
Yeah.
And for the player, and just never forget that it's always a game.
Exactly. You know, that is so correct. You know, we need to remember that it's a game. We need to be out there having fun. If you're not having fun, then why are you playing? You know, we're not all professionals, and until you get to that point, then it's serious business.
And just to add to that, is like, you see, as you get to professional and a higher level, the only thing that keep you grounded, it's those years of fun and passion that you have stacked up over the year. That's what's gonna make you through the time when it's hard. But if at the early age you make it as a pro already, you're not enjoying it, I doubt that you're gonna keep. So have a fun. It's a game. There's winner, there's loser, but most importantly, the process, it's more fun than the outcome.
Right. Well, there you have it, folks. Coach Ramo, thank you so much for being on the show today and sharing your philosophy with us. I'm sure there's plenty of coaches out there that are going to take that and use it and apply it.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, no problem. All right, folks, that's it from the High Desert.
What's happening in LA? I'm Arian Alexander. LA in summer is bursting with music, and we picked 3 free concerts for you to check out this weekend. Every summer, Levitt Pavilion hosts free concerts attracting people from all across Los Angeles to come together for an evening of live music under the stars. This Saturday, get into the groove with Boogaloo Assassins. The LA-based 12-piece Latin band has a sound and style inspired by the Latin boogaloo, soul, salsa, and funk of the 1960s and 70s. Summer nights just got hotter. For the calendar, visit levittlosangeles.org. This summer's downtown stage has a musical lineup with something for everyone. On Saturday nights, the concert lawn is open to the public as bands take to the stage. This Saturday, hot 80s band The English Beat will treat you with their unique sound that's allowed them to endure for nearly 3 decades and appeal to fans all over the world. Get your free entrance tickets at laparks.org/Pershing Square. On weekends, the Getty Museum hosts garden concerts for kids. The free outdoor musical series for kids and their families are held in the Getty Central Garden and features some of the best children's musical artists from across the nation. This weekend, Jazzy Ash invites the whole family to come along on a New Orleans-inspired jazzy music adventure with her band, The Leaping Lizard. Feel free to bring a picnic blanket and your dancing shoes. Check out getty.edu for more. It's a musical extravaganza for you and your family all across Los Angeles this week. I'm Arian Alexander. Get your groove on, and I'll see you next week on What's Happening in LA.
I'm Los Angeles County District Attorney Jackie Lacey.
I'm Jackie's mom, Addie.
1 in 5 elders has been the victim of a financial crime.
I'm one of them. It can happen to anyone.
You can help protect yourself and your loved ones. Never wire money to people you don't know. And don't ever share your Social Security or bank account numbers with strangers. If someone calls you asking for money or personal information, hang up. Always reach out to family and friends about possible scams. And don't be afraid or embarrassed to contact the authorities, like the police, if you're suspicious of anything.
For more information, please call the Elder Abuse Hotline at 877-477-3646 or visit our website at da.lacounty.gov/seniors.